Get it, get it, get it, get it. You're doing it right. Come on in. Welcome in, everybody. Are we ready for a drink? Are we drinking? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Ooh, ooh, howdy, howdy. Hi, Annie. Hi, Bravo Boo. Oh, hey, Boo. Hey, Bravo Boo. How you doing? All right, I'm opening up my rosé. Tonight we are drinking I Stole Kim's Goddamn House. We got the Instagram. We got the YouTube. We are live and ready to thrive. Hi, Can Kunky. Ooh, okay. Wow, there's so many people. Hi, Teresa. You're on it today. Am I? Snap, snap, snap. Am I on it, Teresa? Maybe. Well, you know why I'm on it? Because I just did a bone broth cleanse for the past like 48 hours. So I promise we'll get into the Erica stuff. Just give me like 2 minutes that people can join into the conversation. The reason I'm so pumped, Teresa, is because I just did a bone broth cleanse and it's finally fucking over and I can eat food again. Hey, babes, can't wait for this chat. I can't wait for it either. Yo, let's go. Let's get it, get it, get it, get it. We getting it well. It's the Botox. Oh, because you saw I got my Botox fresh. Oh, maybe that's what it is. What do you think? The Botox is fresh today. It hasn't fully set. It'll fully set in a couple of days. But like, are we loving the Botox? Yeah? Are we having a fan? I mean, it's a touch up. I've gotten Botox before, but everyone's always like, I love your eyebrows. And I'm just like, they're not real. It's Eco Brow and Dr. Deer. Tom in a ditch, bitch. That's right. We're talking about it, Sue. Okay. Welcome on in, everybody. I also have the badges turned on. So if you want a little shout out, Boston says, hi, representing Kim Stock 22. Get it. Never been to Boston, but would love it. Does look great. Thank you. The brows. I'm telling you, you guys, it's just a little bit of a brow lift with the Botox. Like, I'm telling you. I know how to do it. Okay. Is everybody in? We're ready to dive in. We're ready to dish. Law says, hey. Oh, LA says, hey. Zachary Reality. What's going on? I love me a fellow Zach. As long as it doesn't use orphan money to pay for it, we're good with you getting your Botox. I promise there was no orphans and widows were harmed in the making of my face. Cheers, everybody. Who's drinking with me tonight? Let me know what you're drinking. We need the tea. Okay, well, let's dish. Let's dish, Dylan. What did you guys think of this week's episode of Beverly Hills and this week's episode of New York? Do we want to even waste our time on New York? Like, is that even worth it at this point? I feel like, I mean, I will say this week's episode of New York was actually the best episode we've gotten all season. I hated Bershawn last week. And then today I was kind of, or this week I was kind of like, oh, she's not that terrible. I am loving Potomac. Potomac is where it's at right now. I mean, obviously Beverly Hills is where it's at, but Potomac is giving me life. I'm like Karen Huger with the shade, Giselle with the fake husband. Let's get it. Ugh, no. Erica. Okay. I got it. You guys want to talk about Erica. Got it. Let's talk about Beverly Hills. Okay, guys. We're talking about Beverly Hills. So I actually want to know what some of your theories are about Tom in the ditch. Like, was this a game of ding dong ditch and he just like dove right in? Like, what do you think happened? Who ran over Mrs. Rover? Does he need to call Craig Conover? That's the real question. I want to hear your theories. Okay, I guess I'll give my theories. Hello, love the podcast. Hi, Evelyn D. Thank you. Oh, while I have your attention, I'm doing a part 2 of the Girardi deep dive that's going to be coming out on Monday of next week. I originally said this weekend, but it's going to come out on Monday of next week because I actually need time to keep going. I have Tom's ex's divorce papers. I have all of these new articles that are talking about what's going on with the California State Bar and this whole scheme that Tom has had going on for decades. My mind was blown. I'll be honest with you guys. At first, at the very beginning, I was like, oh, maybe, it just happened with one. I thought it started after the Aaron Brockovich case. You guys, I'm so sorry. All the comments are coming in. I promise I'll read them. Badges are on. If you want to shout out, please send some love in the badges on on the Instagram live. But okay, so I didn't realize, my original theory was that Tom Girardi had started doing this after he gained his fame from the Aaron Brockovich case, okay, which happened, I believe, back in the 90s. That's the case that really put him on the map and made him famous. Fuck, I'm giving away all of like the early tea from my deep dive. But oh, thank you, Teresa Ross 730. Love you. Thank you for the badge. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, mean it. So yes, I thought that it happened once he got his Aaron Brockovich fame, but I found out that it happened way before Aaron Brockovich. And there's like 50 other complaints that he could have potentially lost his license for, dating way before Erica. And trust me, we're going to get into the ex-wife because that is like a smoking gun that I'm surprised nobody's gotten into. I don't want to get fucked. The fact that I even mentioned that, now I feel like everyone's going to go and dig up on shit, and but I'm telling you, the ex-wife of Tom Girardi is where it's at. Like, I'm like, my head has been spinning. I have 500 pages of their divorce documents. Motherfucker, I just realized this whole time I forgot to hit record for the YouTube. Oh, well, it's recording on the Zoom. It's fine. We're good. But yeah, isn't that wild? Like, my head has been spinning with this whole Girardi stuff. And okay, so what I think happened with Erica's which ex-wife? Oh, trust me, Blondie Bear 622. We'll get into that, but you have to wait for the deep dive. I've already revealed too much, and now I feel like other podcasters are going to try to swoop my scoop, but they don't have the divorce documents. I do. Okay. I was wondering about that. Bet she signed an NDA. Ooh, Teresa, you'll be surprised. Homegirl was singing like a canary back in the day, and OMG. I finished Erica Jane's book. I've been taking notes through all of it, going through all the X stuff. Like, I'm tired. Okay, I'm teasing it too much. Okay, so let's talk about, okay, so what I think happened in this week's episode, because like I feel like we all got whiplash watching her tell us the story about Tom and the ding dong ditch. And I was like, bitch, what's going on? I can't keep up with this story. And I like how the only person that in the confessional that questioned it was Sutton. And so here's what I think happened. I think she probably told the women the entire story of what actually went down. No, she didn't. I mean, she did sign an NDA, but we'll get into that after. We'll get into that on the deep dive that will be coming out on Monday. I also have Emily D. Baker on the podcast tomorrow morning. Excuse me. And so I'm going to ask her all of my follow-up questions. So on Monday, you'll get the deep dive. And then on Wednesday, you'll get my interview with Emily D. Baker, where she's answering all of the big legal questions. So if you have any like really thoughtful, considerate legal questions that you want me to ask Emily D. Baker, please let me know. DM them to me. Don't post them here because they'll totally get lost. But just heads up, FYI. Where was I? Okay. So Tom and the ding dong ditch. So what I think happened was she told the women the full story and explained what actually happened. It's interesting because there's old footage. In the episode, they showed footage of Erica telling Kyle the story about what happened to Tom when he broke his ankle. Now it seems like she's trying to feed into the whole pretend amnesia, which now it sounds like maybe he doesn't really have pretend amnesia. Maybe he does have like early onset or late onset Alzheimer's or something. Okay, somebody's sent in a live request, and we tried that 2 weeks ago. I stopped taking live requests because then I would answer the phone and people didn't realize they were calling in and they were on the fucking toilet. So we're gonna have to take a break from live calls. But so I think she shared the full story with the other women at the dinner, but it was edited to make it look confusing because Sutton in her confessional said, I'm lost, I'm confused, I don't really know what's going on. And I found it interesting that we didn't get any confessional clips from Crystal, from Kathy, from Kyle, from Dorit, from Lisa Rinna. None of them seemed to have been confused by Tom and the ding dong ditch. Everyone was like, what's going on? And so, or everyone was like in tune with what she was saying and what was going on. So I do think it's interesting. There was a clip that I was watching today of when she was telling Mikey the story about when Tom was found, or when Tom broke his ankle before we knew he was in the ding dong ditch. And so it sounded like in that retelling of it, which I think I posted to my Instagram live, but it sounded, or to my Instagram story, but in that retelling, which we didn't get to see in last night's episode, we only saw her talking to Kyle. In that retelling of what went down, it seemed like, is Erica attending the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion? I believe so. It's not taping for a few weeks, but I believe she is taping the reunion. Sutton said on Watch What Happens Live that she was in the show and that's why she was confused. That she was in the show and that's why she was confused. I don't understand what that comment is. I also kind of think that Sutton is playing up this, like, I don't believe Erica. I think Sutton has read the temperature of the room and is like, all of the fans hate Erica. Let me make myself likable and more enjoyable. So let me continue to jump on this hate train and throw, like, Sutton knows the assignment and Sutton's doing her homework and Sutton's showing up to class early. She's trying to get those extra brownie points from the fans. She's not really playing Bravo's game, but she's doing what she needs to do. And she earned herself the diamond and she's like, I'm not fucking losing it. And I give the girl props. Props to her. She knew the assignment. She read it. She's like looking for that extra credit. Like I said, so she was the only one that we saw in the confessional questioning what the story that Erica shared actually was. Why did we get that? I think this is Bravo and the editor's attempt at foreshadowing and teasing that Sutton is going to continue to question Erica throughout the season, as we saw in the mid-season trailer, which looks fucking insane. Like, that mid-season trailer made my head spin around like I was the Exorcist. Like, at that point, I was like, what is going? Like, I was on the edge of my seat, shaking. It looked so good. And Erica coming for Sutton, it was like, it was intense. Dylan, I think Tom has a lot of enemies with deep pockets, PGE. There's no way they will let him get off easy. I don't know. This is a really, really smart man that has all of his I's dotted and his T's crossed. And now I don't know if I believe that he has dementia and Alzheimer's or doesn't have dementia and Alzheimer's, because now it seems like Erica's trying to corroborate that story on the show. But I also don't know if she knew how bad it was going to get for him. Like, the impression that I'm getting in these earlier episodes of the scandal breaking is that, oh, thank you, your girl Mar. Snap, snap, bond the badges. Thank you, love. Your girl Mar. I love you. You're always commenting. You're always in the DMs. You're always giving me good takes. Love you, love you, love you. Your girl Mar. Love you. But so I think Bravo edited that scene to make it look more confusing than it actually was, because they're planting seeds for what we're going to be getting later in the season between Erica and Sutton. Because at this point, I don't know, but the Tom dementia stuff, I am like 80% confused I'm 80% wanting to believe that he does not have dementia. But I mean, it could have been part of the reason Eric had been trying to protect him for so many years. It could be part of the reason we had that scene with her where she's like, you don't know what I go through every night. Don't talk about my son. And even in that older episode where she's sharing the ankle broken story with Tommy and she's at the Pretty Mess office studios, she's even talking about how, like, Tom, there's going to be a day where Tom's not going to be around. And there's going to be a day where I'm going to have to run this house and I'm going to have to run all of this. And I don't know if I can do it alone. So I definitely think that there may be some truth to Tom and the Ding Dong Ditch story. Thank you, Husky Loving Teacher. Yes. Do you love, like, husky dogs, Husky Loving Teacher, or do you love husky men? I love husky men, and husky dogs are kind of cute too. I think he's off his rocker. I agree, Teresa Ross. Dylan, oh shit, hold on, guys. Dylan says, what is the medical standard to prove dementia in court? You just need a doctor that you can pay enough to do it. Yeah. Coming in late, have we talked early wrap of Vanderpump Rules? Not yet, Courtney, but remind me later in the chat and we will get to it. It's me, Jessica. Hey, it's me, Jessica. How's it doing, boo? Agreed. Tom had heavily coached Erica. What do you mean Tom had heavily coached Erica? I want to dive more into that, Jess. Husky dog. Yes, dogs. She's our class mascot. Aw, so then I shouldn't talk about you doing husky men because that's probably inappropriate. But I like to do husky men, just FYI. Erica had to learn has learned a lot from Tom. Yes. Possibly. We'll get into that because her book factors into it and the ex-wife factors into it. And there are a lot of pieces that draw a lot of pieces. So we'll get into that, Jess, in the deep dive that comes out on Monday. I don't think that Erica would take money from those poor people. That's the bottom line. I agree with you. And now I'm finally starting to say it. But now I've said it. I actually think I'm starting to believe that Erica's more. And you can leave, you can unfollow me, you can try to cancel me. But here's the truth. Let me spit the facts and I'm going to do a little flex for you. I've done the deep dives. I've gone through the court documents. I've gone through Tom's former lawsuits. I've interviewed several experts. I've interviewed several lawyers that are also studying the case. And I stand by what I said. I don't think she's entirely innocent. I think a lot of it, she stuck her head in the sand. But ultimately, and that's the conclusion that I'm going to draw in this deep dive that's coming up, is that I definitely think that she, and I get it, everybody wants to hate her, and we're looking for things like the mascara because we're like, oh my gosh, she doesn't have waterproof mascara on, she's a liar. And it's like, what the fuck does that even, like, come on, like, we can hold Tom Girardi way more accountable. But I do want to, I'm curious what you guys think about this coaching thing. Don't know, but she's covering her ass now. She didn't know, but she's covering her ass now. I think that's smart Kim Stock, and I think that that's definitely part of the ultimate theory that's probably going to end up being the truth. Okay. Drag Me Monique. Oh man, I love that handle. Drag Me Monique. He coached her on what to say once shit hit the fan. That's why she's putting the narrative that he's falling apart, because he knew it was going to play the dementia card. No, because I actually don't believe that, because when I watched the old scene with her telling Tommy, which was years ago, because that happened, I think, what, almost 4 years ago now, that we got him in the ding dong ditch because he broke his ankle. And he wasn't in the ding dong ditch until Wednesday night's episode. But in that telling to Tommy, or that's his name, right? Tommy, the hair person, or the makeup person, the makeup guru, the lifestyle, whatever, the executive of her brand. In telling him, she's in that conversation being like, he's starting to fall apart. And then in her confessional, she's like, there's going to be I'm now waking up to the fact that there's going to be a day where he's not going to be around, and I have to learn how to be okay with that. So I actually think that maybe there were little instances of his body breaking down. I don't know if it was so much his like mental state breaking down, but I think in that moment, she really did believe this is an old man that's starting to deteriorate. He's in his 80s now. It's very possible that his body was starting to break down. His mind, the dementia, the Alzheimer's, I think that's still up in the air. And I think I have yet to see concrete evidence that he actually, until proven guilty, he has pretend amnesia. I'm just going to say that. Okay. What else we got? I remember that episode. Yes, that's right. The harsh reality. She saw what happened to Teresa. Hello. Who, because of her husband. I don't know what that means. Mikey, not, what did I say, Tommy? I meant to say Mikey. Sorry, guys. It's been a long day. Okay. The ding dong ditch. Yeah. I mean, where else was he? Okay, let's talk about the ding dong ditch too, because I saw somebody on Instagram posted a Zillow screenshot, a close-up Zillow screenshot of their Pasadena mansion. And they're like, where's the cliff? And I'm just like, well, fucking broaden the picture and you'll see the full scope of everything. Like everyone, like I'm at this point, everyone's like honing in to try and find reasons to make her guilty. Anyway, I went on Zillow myself and looked at the map, and here's the thing. I don't see a cliff, but I don't actually think she meant a cliff. Like, who in the world is living on an actual cliff? When she said cliff in the episode, my mind automatically went to ditch. Like, there was like a little hill or a ditch or an insert that like he drove over. Not that there's like an actual like cliff, like he's in a mountain or something. There are no fucking mountains where they live in Pasadena, but there are hills and there are ditches, and it's possible that like that's what actually happened, is that he drove into a ditch and not over an actual cliff. You know, like he's joyriding as Thelma and Louise. Maybe because Teresa said May, just because he is old, she knew that the day would come. Yes, absolutely. That's what I think. Ding dong, the witch is caught. What is she caught in? I think the story was a bit exaggerated. I will say that because I'm not fully defending her. I'm just saying I don't think she's as guilty as a lot of people want to believe that she is. But this was a bit of a far-fetched fairy tale, and there were a lot of details that I feel like at this point may have been a bit exaggerated because she thought that this would actually help her. And I think somewhere because you hear it in her stories over the past 2 episodes, like that she is worried about him. And I think she's worried about him. Well, I mean, obviously, that was her husband for 20 years. And obviously, even though she feels like betrayed or whatever the case may be that she's trying to say that she feels, when you've been married or somebody's been in your life and they saved you from being a broke actress out in New York, at some point, like you do have, a soft spot in their heart for them. Simply Nemj. Your girl Mar, I think when you grew up one way, then lived a life, you just turn an eye. I agree. And I think a lot of it was she stuck her head in a ditch. I mean, sorry, Tom was in the ditch. She stuck her head in the sand, probably the same sand that Tom broke his neck in, or his wrist, or his elbow. What the fuck did he break? His ankle. Sorry. Okay. Thank you so much, Sanchez fam, bringing it in with the badges. You guys are killing it with the badges tonight, everybody. Thank you, love you, mean it. And tonight I am drinking I Stole Kim's goddamn house because at this point I don't know if Kyle stole it. I think Tom Girardi may have stole it, allegedly. I also think I'm going to cover Ronald Richards in my deep dive. Some very interesting things have happened over the past couple of days with Ronald Richards. And I think I've completely lost, respect. Should I even say that? Fuck, this is live and nothing can be edited out. I'm going to have to watch my words as I'm getting a little more Liddy City. So do I, Jason. What do you agree with? What did Jason say? Sorry, there's so many comments. I'm sick of Erica haters. I love her and I feel bad for her. Okay. I love you, Jason. I don't know if I would say I love Erica, but I do have a little bit of empathy for her. And that's not to say that I don't have empathy for the victims. My heart breaks for the victims more than anything. Like, the victims should be the priority. And if the victims are our priority, then our anger and our aggression needs to be directed towards the man in this situation, which is Tom Girardi. Okay, that's who we need to be holding accountable. But in our culture, we love to rip apart the women. Please cover Ronald Richards in the deep dive. I want to, husky loving teacher. There are some things that I discovered over the past couple of days that I don't think I'll be able to reveal in the deep dive. But let's just say to all the Ronald Richards fans that are stans and coming for me in the DMs because I've just been a little questionable about him because I'm like, he has a lot to gain. I don't think he's as altruistic as everyone wants to paint him out to be. He's not as innocent. Again, we love to praise the men and rip down the women. What the fuck is that about? We just come out of this culture of believe women, support women, uplift women, women supporting women? Why can't we all just be a Ramona? Actually, I retract that statement. Somebody's going to hold that to me in 5 years when they try to cancel me. But you know what? I take it back. Ramona, we don't need to be Ramona, but we do need to support other women. Okay. I agree with you, Teresa. I agree with most of what Teresa is saying. Thank you, Philly and SM. Hi, Shannon. Thank you. Love you. I think I'm going to be chatting with you again after this. Let's hope so. Ronald Richards is shady as fuck and he needs to go. Yes. And I think he's only getting more shady. And that sucks. And that breaks my heart because I had him on my show a few months ago. I actually used to love his Twitter account. I used to be like, yes, Ronald Richards, I'll eat your clit. Whatever. I'm here for you, homie. And then now I'm just like, now he's being a fangirl. And today he was tweeting, I don't give a fuck. Hashtag I don't give a fuck. Hashtag Beverly Hills Mean Girls. And he's coming for Lisa Rinna. And can we talk about the Lisa Rinna of it all? Because he's trying to expose Lisa Rinna right now. And I looked into this myself. Okay, because he's oh, Lisa Rinna is being sued right now. She's in a lawsuit for copyright infringement. Kim Richards didn't visit Kyle. Doesn't show was shown in the episode because Kyle brought money from Kim's stolen house. Yes. Who that Ronald Richards? Ronald Richards is the attorney that is tweeting on Twitter. He was like tweeting up a storm about the case, and then the trustee was the one who like brought Ronald Richards in to help investigate into Erica to help find the 20 million, and now they're thinking maybe it's 25 million that Tom had given to Erica in loans. I'm now finding out. Damn it. This is why it's dangerous, because I have the wine in me and I'm going to reveal too many things before the deep dive comes out. But I will say this. There's a chance that 20 million / 25 million doesn't even exist, or doesn't, not that it doesn't exist, but that it never actually went to Erica. I'm telling you, it's juicy, and we're going to cover it all in the deep dive, and your mind is probably going to be blown. I'm learning so many new medical terms and secured loans and unsecured loans and all of these things. Like, it's good. Okay. Where were we? Tom in the Ding Dong Ditch. Sorry, I got sidetracked with some of these. I will spill it, Teresa, in the deep dive. Comes out on Monday. I'm taping it this Friday. But yeah, so yeah, I just don't love that Ronald Richards is like, again, I really liked this dude at the beginning. And now I'm like, And then he tweeted about me the other day, and I'm like, Dylan H. Jones. Did I say that right? Dylan H. Jones. Yes. Sorry, the phone's a little further away from me than usual, so I'm like trying to make sure I see everybody's names. But thank you, Dylan H. Jones, for buying the badge. That's what's up. That's my type. That's my type. That's my type. How many of those have you had? I've only had one. Well, to be fair, I've only had one rosé today. This is my first rosé today. But prior to this, I had 3 margaritas at lunch. At lunch. Let me clarify. I had 3 margaritas at lunch. When are I spilling it? Does he want to be a housewife? He's being dramatic. That's the thing, is it's like, I want to like Ronald Richards and I want to believe that he's doing this for good. But when he's making 40% commission, and then he's making 40% commission, and then he's gaining all of this attention, and he's getting picked up in headlines, it makes me think like, maybe you're not as great as a lot of people think you are. Simply NemJ. Simply NemJ coming in with the badge. Yeah. Let's get it. Simply MJ. Thank you, bae. Yeah, he wants to be a housewife. Ronald Richards was on an episode of $1 Million Listing LA. He's a friend of one of the OG's, Chad. He was also, which I learned after I interviewed him on my show, Ronald Richards was also Russell Armstrong's attorney back in the day. And you can look it up. There are TMZ interviews that he was giving. Okay, so Russell Armstrong, for those that don't remember, circa Beverly Hills season 2. Taylor Armstrong's husband, the one that was that she said was beating her. Remember, he threatened Camille for bringing it up, but now we mentioned it, and he was sending out lawsuits or threats to sue left and right. And then Kyle's like, you can't come into my white party because you are suing people, and like, that's not cool. So Taylor's husband, he was representing Taylor's husband in the divorce. And if I remember correctly, this is just to my recollection, this is not a fact, so don't try to come for me. My recollection was that he was like trying to make Taylor seem like she was an unfit mom, and that she was lying about the domestic violence. There are old TMZ interviews with Ronald Richards, and if you Google Ronald Richards, Russell Armstrong, you'll find all that shit, and it's wild. So when he was working his way into the press with the Armstrongs back in season 2, and now we see him here, season 11. I'm like, I liked you, and now I don't know if I fully trust you. Okay, what else you got? Yes, he was abusive and he committed suicide. Yes, that was Taylor's ex-husband from season 2, to Kennedy's father, which is so sad. By the way, if you have not listened to Hot Takes and Deep Dives, Jess does an interview. Go to subscribe to the Hot Takes and Deep Dives podcast. Jess, the host, I'm actually doing her show this weekend, I believe, so it'll probably come out next week. But Jess interviewed Taylor Armstrong, and she talks about finding Russell and like the whole suicide scandal, and that shit is wild. Wild. Anything we want to talk about? We do have to wrap within the next 10 minutes. So what do you want to talk about? New York? Do you want to talk about Potomac? Do you want to talk about Vanderpump Rules? What should we close the conversation with while I take another sip of my rosé? Hey, if they want to really get Real Housewives of Orange County back to Crazy Town, bring on Taylor. Wouldn't that be a wild time? Would we want to see I would want to see Taylor back. I want to interview some of the old housewives. I don't think I'm going to interview Taylor because I think Jess did a great job on her podcast interviewing Taylor, and I think everyone should go and listen to that. But I was thinking maybe interviewing Adrian. Okay, what else? Kathy. What about Kathy? You want to talk about Kathy? Let's talk about Kathy. I promise I'm not on any drugs, you guys. I just finally had coffee for the first time after my bone broth cleanse, and I am like ready. Where is that Taylor Armstrong interview? Hot Takes and Deep Dives podcast. Go to the Hot Takes and Deep Dives podcast on iTunes right now. Subscribe and listen to the Taylor interview. It's good. Okay, you want to talk about Vanderpump Rules? What about Vanderpump Rules do you guys want to talk about? I miss Jack the Rita too. And for anybody that like thinks I'm on Adderall or anything because I talk really fast, this is me naturally. I'm a very fast talker. Get with it. Taylor was horrible to watch, a woman being abused and at her mental breaking point. That's why when everybody last season was like, oh my God, this, Denise Richards stuff with Brandy, this is dark. The housewives have gone dark. I'm like, really? This is dark? What, that Brandy and Denise were scissoring each other in a beach on a beachfront hotel? Like, do we not remember season 1? Do we not remember exploiting Kim's sobriety? Nothing wrong with Adderall. I didn't say there was anything wrong with Adderall. I'm just saying I'm not on it. I'm on coffee and rosé. Did you know or did you hear Kathy mention Shapiro, the lawyer? She has a family connection. Yes, I did. I did hear that. Kathy is a name dropper. Kathy's like, I got OJ Simpson off. And what? I leaked Paris sex tape. And what? No, that was Kris Jenner. Yeah, everyone's talking about Vanderpump Rules being over. Is it really that surprising though, you guys? All the other seasons have been cut short from filming. And it wasn't that short. Like it started at the beginning of May, filmed all throughout May, all throughout June, and most of July. So what, almost 3 months, 2.5 months, almost 3 months of filming. So I anticipate that it's going to be a shorter season of Vanderpump Rules, which is probably best. Who is Hunky Dory? Hilarious, Sanchez fam. Hilarious. I love Kathy. Love Kathy. Love Kathy. I will go down on Kathy Hilton. That's how much I love her. And I even hate sucking dick. So that says a lot. Vanderpump Rules, everyone's talking about how the season was cut short. Most of the shows that we've gotten on Bravo this year and last year were shorter seasons. They were filmed in a shorter period of time. I mean, it could also be that now that like things in LA are starting to get a little strict again, production was kind of like, oh my God, we don't want to go through some of the bullshit of all of this again. And we already got most of the storyline. Like we got engagements. I wonder if Sheena's engagement is going to be featured on the show. Possibly. I mean, it has to be worked into the show somehow, but I also think it's interesting if it wasn't that Brock waited until right after they filmed. I actually think it may have happened. We'll probably end up seeing the engagement in the finale. I'm pretty sure Brock worked something out to where he like made sure that it was filmed for Bravo. I think he knows Sheena a little too well and how much Sheena loves, being a part of the show and the attention that like he's not going to let that slip. Family karma's a bitch better than Sheldon Vanderpump. Who's Sheldon on Vanderpump? Your girl Mar, Jax won't come back, she said on her podcast. No, Jax won't come back. She'd do a cameo, but nothing more. She's out in Vegas. Now, who? How are we talking about? What did I miss here? Family karma and who's coming back on the podcast and what's happening? Y'all got the tea before me. All right, guys, catch me up to speed here because I don't know what y'all are talking about. We would like to have Caroline Manzo and Jack LaRita back on New Jersey. I actually think that would be kind of great. I would enjoy that. I think they need to bury Vanderpump Rules and let it die. So Shannon and Heather are already fighting. I can't wait for OC. Like at this point, I think OC is going to be gold. Ooh, actually, I have some Dallas news. Does anybody care about Dallas anymore? Yes, I saw the engagement and was filmed. Yes, I saw the engagement was filmed a month ago or something like that. No, that was James and Raquel's engagement that we know was filmed for the show at Rachella, the birthday party that he had for her. Jack Larita, someone mentioned that they'd want Caroline and Jacqueline back. How did we get on the conversation of New Jersey? You guys are like having your own little chat in the live chat. I kind of like it, but I don't know what's going on with family. Your girl more, I'm aware in friends with family member of. Okay. Y'all are going to have your own side conversation. All right. Anything we want to talk about before we wrap? New York was boring. Vanderpump Rules, yes, was wrapped early. Probably just me. What I think happened is they just needed to make sure that the show was done and edited and completed before the fall lineup, which is what they're going for. So this fall we have Winter House, or not Winter House. What is it called? Summer House, Winter Charm. We have Vanderpump Rules. We have Real Housewives of Orange County that'll probably be coming in the winter. But we're going to have some lineup of shows. But I think because of the delays with COVID last year and early this year, they had to make sure that they finished. You don't finish your sentence. I'm sorry. I'm trying to finish my sentences, RSM. I'm really trying here, but y'all are just tearing me up in the comments. Yes, Miami is coming back, but it's coming to Peacock. We also have Housewives All Stars. That's also coming to Peacock. But okay, Dallas. Let's talk Dallas. So apparently the casting rumors that are spreading on Twitter, which I reported on the Instagram account and on the podcast earlier this week, I just found out that Dallas hasn't even been greenlit by the network. Production is trying to like make sure things are secured, but the network hasn't even picked up the show. And it hasn't been like, if it hasn't been picked up, greenlit, contracts haven't gone out, and the reunion was how many weeks ago? It's not looking good for Dallas, you guys. Dallas might not even come back. And I wouldn't hate that. I would actually be okay with that. But I am hearing that if Dallas does come back, Brandy and Carrie are most likely the two that will be fired. And Tiffany Moon is actually still up in the air. That's the latest that I've heard. Tiffany Moon's up in the air. We do have, Cam may be back, but I'm hearing production does want her back. Deandra's a shoo-in. Stephanie may be back as well. But like I said, nothing's actually been confirmed. Let me give some bad shout outs. I never meant. Simply NemJ, love you. Dylan H. Jones, love you, love you. Phillian SM, kisses to you, boo. 3 badges. That is a boss right there. Thank you, Shannon. Sanchez fam, 2 badges. Thank you, love you. Courtney Stormer, thank you, love you. If you have a question about Vanderpump Rules, I know you wanted to talk about that. Let me know. I got tea. Husky loving teacher, 3 badges. What a boss. Love you, love you, love you. Your girl Mar, 2 badges. Always in here with the badges. I love you, your girl Mar. You're my girl, Mar. Teresa Ross, 730. Thank you guys for all the badges and all the love. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Like Kris Jenner. If y'all haven't tried his wine, do it. Aw, thank you. Thank you, Simply NemJ. It's really delicious. Light, crisp, perfect for the summer. Tiny, in a can, so it's safe poolside, safe at the beach, easy to carry. Another badge. Simply NemJ. Get it, get it, get it, girl. Ooh. I would twerk if I wasn't sitting down and filming. But yes. Okay, thank you guys. Any closing thoughts? We're going to wrap up in 2 minutes. Agree the wine is great. Thank you, M. Sanchez fam, yes. It's yummy. 12.8% alcohol. You're going to be Liddy City. 4 fun designs all back there. Boom, boom, boom. What is the, okay. Let me know to close out the conversation. Let me know what your vibe is tonight. Are you like, I stole Kim's goddamn house because you steal shit when you get drunk? Are you, I'm ready to mention it all because when you get drunk, you have loose lips like me? Are you, I'm ready to flip a table because you get a little feisty? Or are you, now tell me who gonna check me, boo, because you're ready to go down. Husky loving teacher, love your Thursday chats. Keep them coming every Thursday, baby. Every Thursday. We have news recaps on Mondays. Wednesdays, we have unfiltered interviews. I had Harry Jowsey on the show. If you haven't watched Too Hot to Handle, you need to watch Too Hot to Handle because the first season is going to make you horny. And then you're going to hear Harry on my show and you're going to be like, oh my God, why am I wet right now? Yes, I mention it all. Mention it all. Ooh, Anna pauses, flip a table. Teresa's mention it all. I'm definitely mention it all. As you can tell, I slipped up so much on some tea. All right, guys. You can follow my personal account to follow me and watch my Botox adventures at Just Plain Zack. That is my handle at Just Plain Zack, Zack with the K at the end. Just Plain Zack. You can follow the show. I mean, I'm sure most of you are already doing it here. If not, please follow at No Filter with Zack. If you listen to the show on iTunes, please leave me a 5-star review. Those really do mean a lot and those really do count. I will be doing shout outs in my next solo episode, not next week, but the week after. Yeah, so please leave me a 5-star review. I will be giving shout outs to people that do that. If you love to watch on the YouTube, you can watch full episodes and clips at youtube.com/justplainzack. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. Please sign up for notifications because you're going to want that tea, everybody. All right, we good? Everybody good? Any closing thoughts? I love you all. Anna Paz, love you. Teresa, love you. Your girl Mart, love you. I left a 5-star review. I listen on the beach every week. Ooh, that's a fancy life. I want to listen on the beach every week. I love that. Love you, babe. Mwah. I will do that tomorrow for you. Oh, thank you, M. Simply NemJ, you're the best. Thanks for the live. You're the best, babe. Thank you for joining the live. Because if you guys didn't join, I wouldn't be here. Maybe I would, but I would just be talking to myself. And it's way less fun to talk to yourself than it is to talk to everybody else. Do you think Erica will be back next season? For sure. I think Erica will be back as long as Erica wants to come back. I think she definitely earned her diamond for next season, and she will continue to earn her diamond for next season because she really is giving us a good story. Closing thought, Erica lies. Thanks for making work tolerable with your pod. Oh, with your pod. Sorry. Thank you, Court 4754. Thank you. Erica lies. I think Erica does lie. I'm not even going to dispute that. I think Erica does lie. But I also think she's not as guilty as we want to believe that she is. And I stand by that. And like I said, I'm going to do my little flex. I've done lots of deep dives into all of this information. And I think we should be projecting a lot more of our anger towards Tom. Tom is the one we should be focused on. Tom is the one that we should be dragging. I don't care if he's 84 years old and drives himself into a ding-dong ditch. That bitch needs to be taken down. And when you find out all of his connections at the state bar, you're going to be like, what the fuck? I'm telling you. All right, guys. Thank you. Mwah. Love you. Love you. Mean it. Love you. Mean it.